Democracy 2014, where we are asking the candidates for governor in Maryland questions so you can be best informed. And we're now joined by Attorney General Doug Gansler on the Democratic ticket for governor. Sir, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
A few words if you would like to start.
Sure. As your governor, I'll continue to do what I've done for the past 22 years, and that is see something that is wrong, something that is unfair, and work relentlessly to fix the problem and get things done. Whether it's bringing the Beltway snipers to justice, whether it's taking on big oil to clean up their spills, whether it's preventing big tobacco from marketing cigarettes to your children, or arguing in front of the Supreme Court to keep a child molester behind bars. These are some of the things that I've done over my last 22 years as a federal prosecutor in the Clinton administration, as the state's attorney of the biggest jurisdiction in the state, and for the last 8 years in Baltimore as the Attorney General of Maryland. You know, we have a lot of problems that come before us. We need somebody that actually can get things done, somebody who's actually managed, somebody who's led, somebody who's been effective. The biggest problem in the state of Maryland, of course, is the economy and jobs. We've lost over 7,000 small businesses in the last 8 years. 76% more people are unemployed than there were 8 years ago. 46% of the males, adults in Baltimore City are unemployed. We've had 40 straight taxes, and my opponent, the lieutenant governor, wants to continue on this trajectory of the O'Malley-Brown taxing people in Maryland, as well as bringing casino gambling as the economic future. I want to bring cyber crime, cyber security to Maryland. I want to bring life sciences to Maryland. We want to bring back manufacturing, and we actually need to attract jobs here. We only have 4 Fortune 500 companies left in our state, so we need to bring jobs back. We need to do that so we can increase our tax base so that we can do things that we want to do, in my case, as a Democrat. For example, we have the second worst minority achievement gap in the country here in Maryland. They've been sitting there watching this happen. We need to fix it. But we're going to need money, and we need to hold teachers accountable because we have so many great teachers, and they should be rewarded for their work. But we need to make sure that every child in every classroom, regardless of what zip code they live in and what they look like, has access to a great education. And finally, transportation. We need to get high-speed rail from Baltimore to Washington. We need to fill up the city again in Baltimore, have federal workers and others be able to live in Baltimore and commute to Washington and vice versa. So look forward to talking to you about some of the questions today.
All right, we have some limited time. We have 3 questions we would like to get to. Time allocated will determine which ones we get answered. We start, of course, with health care. As everyone knows, Maryland's rollout was a mess. As governor, what do you do to make sure this doesn't happen again or enrollments are bettered in the future? Yeah,
I think, look, this is the biggest contrast I point to between my leadership capabilities, my effectiveness versus the lieutenant governors. I mean, I was elected by my 49 peers to be the president of all the attorney generals in the country. And we went after the 5 major banks when the foreclosure crisis hit. And we've gotten $1.5 billion into just the state of Maryland through my leadership and kept tens of thousands of families from being foreclosed upon. In contrast, and remember, look, I went to the Supreme Court of the United States to get the Affordable Care Act upheld. I do believe that America should not have been the only country in the industrialized world not to provide access to health care for its citizens. And I co-chaired President Obama's campaign along with Elijah Cummings. That said, the only thing the lieutenant governor has ever been given to manage or lead on in Maryland was the rollout of the Affordable Care Act. He was given $200 million of taxpayer money, which basically got flushed down the drain. And we don't know what happened to it because the special interests, the hundreds of thousands of dollars from healthcare companies that he raised while he was supposed to be doing this are all protecting him. And they won't let us look into what happened to our taxpayer money. And we need to know that, because when the rollout comes again in November, we won't be able to effectively fix it because we don't know what went wrong in the first place. Plus, real people can't get access to health care. He calls it an inconvenience. It's an inconvenience if your child needs chemotherapy and you can't get it because he inconveniently botched this rollout. I mean, literally the last number we know is 4 people were actually able to enroll on the website. The rest were hand done and then funneled over to Care First. And so the 70,000 they're talking about of the 800,000 plus people that are without health insurance in Maryland. So it's a big problem.
All right, and we have one more question for you. Less than a minute, so you have to be quick with this.
I speak fast.
You do, and you get a lot of words in, and that's good.
Thanks for noticing.
In October, it will become no longer criminal to possess marijuana, small amounts. We know the law. Do you see a day when it's legal here in the state of Maryland?
I see a day when it's legal, but I hope it's a day long way from now. I think we should let other states do it if we're going to get there. Let them iron out any of the kinks that we have. But I'm okay with medical marijuana and decriminalization, but that's it.
All right. He is Attorney General Doug Gansler on the Democratic ticket to be Maryland governor. Sir, thank you for the time.
Thank you.
As always, if you want to see this and other interviews, complete coverage, abc2news.com. Click on the News tab, and from there, click on the Political tab.